I'm here with Sheri Corey. We went to high school together. I've always known that she sewed, but this girl sews. She has a whole business. How long have you been doing this?
Full time, it's 30 years.
Wow.
In this past December, so yeah.
So you went from a normal storefront and you have this fantastic new idea.
A mobile sewing studio.
I love that.
It's so much fun.
The van is so cute, and I just love how you have it totally tricked out, and it does everything you need it to do.
Yeah.
That is very convenient for me because we don't live in the same state anymore, and it's nice that she can drive around and do this for a lot of different people instead of us having to go to her, which is more difficult, especially when you're doing slipcovers.
Well, picking up furniture, put it in your car to bring it to me somewhere is what we used to have to do.
Yeah.
And now it's just nice that I can just pull on up and do my thing.
Well, and that's also good because we are an over 50 channel and we can't pick up our furniture and put it in the back of the car. I mean, it's a
lot of picking up.
Yes, well, you're in very good shape, but it's something to think about. If you can't lift, can't put things in your car, this is a great way to get your things done. So I love the whole concept of it. I think it's amazing. I love what you did on these. I love it. It's a huge change. And I like that it's kind of not structured because of the way the chair actually is with all that wood. If it was very tailored made, I think it would have shown some of that wood in the background. I wouldn't have liked that.
Yeah, and we typically talk people out of it when they have wood. This one was okay. It had already been slipcovered before, so.
Yeah, but I still like this so much more than the other, which they tried to do that in a tailored way. Yeah. I did not like what was underneath, but I also knew that once it was slip-covered, it would still have that wood. And I did not like that wood on the back as much, so that's why I chose slip covering. I really just love these legs. And this kind of being so simple, it kind of showcases that. So here's the old chair. Not as attractive as it could be. It's a comfortable chair to sit in, but I bought it for the legs because I love a slip-covered chair that has pretty legs that come out beneath the skirt. When I bought it, it had the cream slip covers on it that were older, a lot older, so they were dingy, they were kind of worn out, and they weren't really fitting the chair the way it should because it was starting to stretch out. Another thing about that slip cover, it had cording on it. And I'm sure they put the cording around the top to define it. But if you see this chair here, as opposed to normal wing chairs, it has a lot of wood on it. It has unusual arms. It's really hard to get a good classic fit on a chair like this. So what I was going for was a looser, less structured, kind of casual fit so that I could keep chairs like this either in a not so dressy sitting area or possibly in bedrooms. We decided to approach it that way because of all this wood that is built around the chair. So my big conundrum when I was going through this was trying to decide what kind of fabric to use for a slipcover. I know you have some that you think are better than others. What's better?
I love a cotton linen blend, anything like that. People try to get velvet and things that are too heavy, and when it's too heavy, it just won't hang well. Velvet especially because I can't iron it. I love to iron the stew out of stuff or steam it.
Yeah.
So more of a lighter, think lighter rather than heavy when you're doing a slipcover.
I was worried because this is an upholstery fabric. You know, it's a little thicker. I was very concerned about it, but I do like that it's kind of held its own and it's not too floppy, especially with this type of chair. And I'm glad you said that about the velvet. I was this close to buying velvet, and it just made me nervous. I knew I couldn't iron it if I needed to, you know, take it off, have it cleaned or whatever. I was really afraid.
This week that were velvet, and then the girl said, well, I'm gonna take my steamer over there. I was like, no, don't do it, you'll ruin them.
So you have to be really careful. The fabric is so important. It's really important to find somebody who knows what they're doing. It's very important also to pick the right fabric. So ask whoever you're working with, ask them what they suggest because they know what they can work with and they know what they should be working with. So get that guidance for sure. I used an upholstery fabric instead of a cotton fabric. It's very durable. They use them a lot in hotels and places where there's a lot of traffic. It really is very, very durable. I've used this before. It already has a stain-resistant chemical that's in it. Really, really easy to work with. Now, on the other piece, the settee, that was a different piece because it didn't have all the wood at the top. So you were able to do the cording and all the things that were a little more special, just slightly more tailored because of that, right? And that was, we think, a silk linen. I knew it was a linen blend, but I think you're right. I think it's silk linen, and it hangs really well. It looks good.
Pretty.
She's a color girl. She's told me she loves color, and I am, this is my color right here. I was too safe. I really wanted to use this opportunity to do something fun, and I went around that store and started picking up these bright things, and all of a sudden I just get sucked back into my neutrals. But I know now that I can drag both of these pieces all over the house. But do you normally suggest that people do something kind of special since it's a slipcover?
I don't know if it's special. It's just what makes you happy, really. I mean, what's going to be the best thing for you in the long run? I want something a lot of times too that you can wash.
Yes.
Which I think that's important. And I do, if you're going to want to wash them, then you want to pre-wash your fabric to get all that shrinkage out.
That's smart. That's a very good tip. When would I need to upholster rather than slipcover?
So slip covering, I usually say if you have dogs or children, and if you love what's underneath and you just want to have a new look, you want to change it up, you want your summer look, your winter look, whatever, is slip covering. But upholstery, especially upholstery, if it's broken down and they need to go in there and add some extra support to it, then go ahead and upholster it.
Yeah.
But dogs and children, slipcover every day.
Yeah, that makes sense. So if there's one thing you could say to everybody out there about slipcovers, either why you should do it or what you need to be careful of, what is it?
Oh my goodness. I guess what we already said though. I mean, if you love what it is, then let's just slipcover it. Let's not get rid of it.
Yeah.
And if it's old furniture, it is so much better built than new stuff. So, people come to me all the time saying, well, I don't want to spend a lot, so I'm just going to slipcover it. Slipcovering and upholstery is the same price, basically. So really, you're not saving money there. But if it's a good piece of furniture, save it. If you got a piece of IKEA or you got a piece from no, don't slipcover. It's not worth it.
That is perfect. I love that information because I love the older furniture anyway. I just don't want it to look old. And this is a great way to have a little bit of both. But you're right, some of that cheap stuff, it's not worth it. And this was not any cheaper than upholstery. And I used to think that it was. It's not. But I hate to commit. I hate to commit to anything. And it's nice to have the freedom of just changing this out. You did this so quickly. That blew my mind. You came in yesterday and you have all these pieces done basically now. That is blowing my mind. If you send it off to be upholstered, it's not with you sometimes for a couple of months.
In a shop, yeah. So I don't come to you until I can do it. You may sit on the list for a couple months, but once I get to you, that's it.
Yeah, I think I was on probably for 3 months, but it's worth the wait because she comes here, we got to catch up. It was lovely, it was wonderful. Exactly, so I highly recommend it. If some of you are looking for that, how can they find you?
SassySlipcovers.com.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's your before, and this is your after.